The prison built by Shizi Kanyi has become a paradise for all men to yearn for, because it's not only full of female prisoners, but also sex robots providing services 24 hours a day. There is a prison called Pataka on a remote island. It's full of the most vicious female prisoners in the world. No one can get out of Pataka alive. And our heroine is also a member of this prison, and the cell where she is the only room that won't lock. Because she is the trash can of all prisoners, there will be a group of people lining up to beat her every day. She never resists, because everyone here has only one ending. That is to welcome death. Just when she was about to be beaten, the accomplices rushed in to stop her. They said it was a warning to gather everyone in the hall. There is a big event to announce. When they heard this, they took up their fists. This time, you're lucky. Then they took their men to Yongchang. At this time, there was a mess outside the hall. The prisoners were talking about what was going on. Some people heard the news from the small island. I heard that a group of AI was going to enter the prison. It's a super sexy robot. It seems like it's still here to serve us. With the sound of footsteps, the crowd suddenly became silent. After looking around for a while, they waved their hands and asked people to bring their toys. Although the doctor was very upset when he heard his research results being called toys, there were a group of evil people standing at the bottom. Not only did they become quiet, but they didn't even dare to look at them. The wording of the prison can only explain in person. I think you probably understand. These three robots are here to make you happy. The one on the left is called Tina. The one in the middle is called Cinder. The last one is called Bill. A robot will only stay in a cell for 15 minutes every night. During this period, you can do whatever you want. But don't be too presumptuous. If the robot is damaged, it will be locked up for a month. After that, the subordinates announce the list of execution tonight. What makes Sue curious is that he is still not here this time, because he should have been executed a long time ago. He doesn't understand what the warden's father is planning. Every night, Sue will sit by the bed and look out of the iron window. His only wish is to see the crow before he dies. At this time, a rumor spread in the opposite cell. The robot started to serve. Listening to these rude words, Sue shyly turned his head. 15 minutes passed quickly. Then it was his turn in this cell. However, when Bill touched Sue's face, Sue turned away and asked, "Aren't you tired?" This move is not only a robot's temper, but according to the program setting, they all have a fixed answer to this situation. It's my honor to bring you happiness. When Yansu sighed and asked, "I can give you a direct command, right?" After getting a definite answer, Sue directly ordered Bill to put on his clothes and sit aside. When it's time to leave by himself, Bill, who received the order, was obedient. But there was a question in his heart. Is he not interested in me? He is very curious about what the heroine is looking at. There is clearly nothing outside the window. Because there has been no movement here, it has killed the warden opposite. Hey, is this person not going to call me? What's wrong? The robot can't make you feel good, can it? As time goes by, the guards outside reminded Bill to go to the next dormitory. By the way, Sue Kang was also pushed out and taken to another place. As expected, it was the scene of the criminal's execution. Every month, he will be brought to this place once. This was specially arranged by the warden's father. It's like hinting at him not to have any hope for life. When he came back again, he happened to meet the AI. Bill immediately issued a warning when he saw the heroine's blood. "Please don't go any further. The blood on your body will stain our clothes." Lin Ka next to Wen Yan began to laugh at Bill. "Even they don't like you. You are really cheap." Yansu didn't even resist. Bill began to judge this person from the bottom of his heart. This should be the coward in people's mouths. Lin Ka scolded the heroine not enough. Then he pointed at Bill and provoked him. "Don't worry, it's my turn to kill you tomorrow." A huge noise led the guard to come over. He saw blood on Sue's way all the way. So he went to the bathroom to clean himself. I thought he could wash off the smell of his body. Who knew that the guard hugged him from behind? His hands were also touching him. It's fun to be a living person who can resist. Don't you want to enjoy it before you die? He said he would untie the belt. Although the heroine used all her body to resist, it didn't help. At this critical moment, Bill, who didn't know when to appear, saved her. When the guest said no, he would never take the next step. The next day, the heroine was as numb as usual doing the top-level cleaning. But she didn't know that today was a special day. All AI will charge at a fixed time every week, and the charging location is in the middle of the hall. Maybe it's the designer's bad humor. Before charging, they have to take off all their clothes, and the connection port is also set in the most private part. This is a good opportunity for the prisoner. You're so dead, don't block your brain. Seeing that the other two companions have taken off their clothes to charge, Bill still refused to act. But as a service robot, these are all the procedures he has to follow. With a bit of body out of the way, the unexpected rattle was unexpectedly heard. Bill tried to force the hearing system to shut down, but there was a warning from the system. You don't have the right to shut down the hearing system. The hearing system will restart in 10 seconds. But even 10 seconds is enough. These dirty hearings don't want to hear it for a moment. As the countdown gradually returned to 0, in the next second, a familiar figure put the clothes back on him. Wearing clothes can also charge. Feeling that the other person's fingers are colder than his own, Bill began to re-examine the prosecution. Maybe it was his previous misjudgment. He may not be a coward. He just didn't understand why he, as a human, would say this to himself as a robot. Until the second time he met him, he knew that the other party had long sensed his secret. That night, Bill came to Sue's room as usual. As soon as he met him, he put on his clothes to thank him. But Sue said they were even. After all, Bill also helped him solve that problem. Just when Bill went to the corner, I didn't expect Sue to point his finger at the side of the bed. Sit on the bed. At first, the atmosphere was awkward. As the fingers of the two touched together, Sue gradually began to adapt. I can feel that you are different from other AI. You have self-awareness. When people are nervous and shy, they will unconsciously accelerate their heartbeats. But you have the same jumping ability as me. Even if you imitate the sound of your heart, you can't do it so accurately. After that, Sue and Bill kept their distance. But whether you are a robot or not has nothing to do with me. In my cell, you don't need to listen to anyone's instructions. Be yourself for 15 minutes. After Bill listened to Sue's words, he recalled every detail in his mind. Then he got up and put Sue's arm around his ankle. When did you realize that I was conscious of this? At first, I was... But before Sue finished his words, Bill kissed him directly. Until the warning time outside came, Bill was reluctant to let go of his lips. This was the first time he felt that 15 minutes was so fast. It was so fast that he wasn't enough. When he left, Bill turned around and asked a question. That's why his ball did not go up the wall. When Sue was talking, his body shrank in the corner. Because I am. He couldn't say the next sentence. When he saw that the other party was in such a dilemma, Bill didn't ask anymore. Instead, he lied on the iron window and said the last sentence to Sue. See you tomorrow. This sentence is like a promise. It exploded in Sue's heart for a moment. His heart that was like dead water stirred up again. He began to look forward to tomorrow, looking forward to Bill's tomorrow. At night, the doctor was checking 3 AI and found something strange. Only Bill seemed to smile in his sleep. This strange scene made the doctor feel uneasy for a moment. So he decided to observe Bill's next move. As a result, the next day, he was surprised to find that Bill seemed to care about someone. Every time Sue was beaten by others in prison, Bill would look at Sue. There seemed to be pity in his eyes and anger. The doctor only felt his scalp numb. Why would Bill have feelings for that person? Is there anything special about that prisoner? That night, after Sue finished his work, he hurried back to the cell because they made an appointment yesterday. As expected, Bill was already waiting for him in bed. As soon as they met, he gently raised Sue's face, indicating that there was a gift for him. Then he pointed to a crow on the wall. "This is the crow you've always wanted to see."
How is it? Do you like it? This is the first time Sue has received a gift in prison. He just thinks that humans don't deserve to be with us. But at the same time, he was surprised why he didn't know. Bill said that he often saw Sue talking to himself in the square, saying that he must see the crow. But why must it be a crow? Sue explained that this was a promise between him and his mother. As long as the crow flew past the day of Pataka, his mother would come back to pick him up. This is also why he has been stuck in Pataka all this time. But he also understands that his mother won't come back. Just like this charcoal-painted crow is not a real bird. The freedom he longs for and the future are just illusions in the end. Nothing is real, right? Bill kissed the other person's forehead with a heartache. No, at least I am real at this moment. Since then, Bill has been very upset every day. Why is there no bird in the sky here? Even one is enough. Bill, who was listening to Bill, began to search the internet. Then came the mechanical answer. The Pataka Island belongs to the environmentally polluted disaster area. A large number of pollutants plus the activity of humans lead to a comfortable environment where no birds live in the Pataka Island. Shut up. Bill angrily took out the chip behind Tina's neck. However, this scene happened to be seen by the doctor who just came in. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he wouldn't have believed it was true. In addition to the abnormalities that occurred to Bill several times, the doctor did a full-body check on his body. Unexpectedly, the data showed that everything was normal. But the prison's feedback investigation is almost all complaints to Bill. It's all clear. It's like a man who's throwing a tantrum. The doctor is very entangled now. If Bill doesn't recover normally, then all the robots of this batch of models will be destroyed. He can't just watch his own masterpiece be destroyed. Isn't the data showing that I have no problem? But the problems you're going to ask are the problems themselves. You should accept the order and complete the order, not express it. For humans, death is over. But as a machine, I have no life at all. How can it be over? The doctor froze after hearing it. Even if he doesn't want to admit it, it seems that Bill does have self-awareness. In just a few minutes, after the memory program is formalized, everything will start over. Bill was silent for a while before he opened his mouth slowly. It turns out that a button can kill me repeatedly. Before the memory is formalized and deleted, Bill made the last request to the doctor. He wanted to take the last 15 minutes to turn the picture to Sue's prison. Sue was looking at the crow on the wall at this moment. Suddenly, a huge doorbell rang behind him. He turned around and saw Bill coming, and he stole a lock from another cell and put it on the door. Sue was teased by his action. It's useless. Tomorrow it will still be taken away. Tomorrow is tomorrow. At least no one will bother you tonight, he said and started to untie his clothes. The spicy scene instantly made Sue's face red. Wait a minute, let's just chat. But Bill, who has always been obedient, didn't listen this time. I want to do it to the end today. Even if you refuse, I won't stop. The moment of happiness is short, not to mention just 15 minutes. This is the first time Sue has a desire for things other than living. It's a desire to have comrades. But what he doesn't know is that Bill is about to forget everything between them. Before he realizes it, he prays in his heart. He prays that Sue doesn't forget himself. He presses the format button under the doctor. The next second, Bill's mind suddenly remembers a mechanical sound. The initial setting is about to be restored. As the memories of the past continue to flow out, Bill seems to be fighting this force again. The initialization program is in progress. Please don't do other operations. I refused. Then, a more strange scene happened. The computer screen suddenly became a mess. Then a line appeared in the middle. I'm Bill. I'm going to take him out of this prison. Finally, all the words made up a crow pattern. Only the doctor was left in shock.
Sue didn't see Bill for the next few days. Even when the robot was charging, he was the only one. When he realized that something was wrong, Sue took the initiative to bully his Ling Ka. Because today, it's Ling Ka's turn to clean up the lab for the doctor. Sue directly said that he would take the initiative to finish all the work for Ling Ka today. Who knew that Ling Ka could see through his little mind in a glance? Don't think I don't know what you're up to. Aren't you just for that robot? What? You can't see that he's worried, can you? You're almost a dead man. You're still worried about a bunch of broken things. Why is your life so funny? Facing Ling Ka's provocation, Sue still didn't resist. It's just that the eyes are no longer blind, but a kind of firmness. As if Ling Ka was saying the next word to refuse. Sue will fight with him. As long as you promise me, before I die, I'll do all your cleaning work for you. Seeing the other person's expression, Ling Ka was also shocked, but he didn't suffer any loss. So he agreed. On the other hand, the doctor found a guard who was in charge of Sue. After sending a sum of money, he successfully got Sue's case. The guard told the doctor that if you want to know Sue, you have to know another woman first. That's Sue's mother. So Sue's mother is the ex-wife of the warden Osiraloka. And Osiraloka will execute Sue before his dismissal. So he's the warden. The fact that he locked his first wife in prison will be exposed. And Sue, a child born in prison, will also be buried with the secret. After the doctor heard this secret today, he was also very happy. No wonder he appeared here at such a young age. So was happy that he found a place in the lab. But he said that his body was unwell. Guest, tell me what you want. At that moment, Sue panicked. In the past, only when someone else's fist fell, the body would hurt. But now it's clear that he didn't raise his fist. Why do you feel so painful that you can't breathe? Think of me. I want you to think of me. When he saw Guest, he was still repeating that sentence. Sue was disappointed and turned away. He didn't know that all of this was taken by the camera on the wall. After seeing Guest's performance, the doctor was convinced. Then, he tested Guest a few more times. As long as there is no problem, Guest can be reused. Are you human? I'm a model. I'm not a real person. What's your mission? Provide better service to humans. One last question. You left him because you felt sorry for him, right? I'm not sure who you're talking about. When the doctor heard this, he finally relaxed. It's nothing. Just think of me as talking nonsense. The next second after Guest turned around and left the room, his eyes turned into another person. Of course it's not sympathy. Doctor, you won't understand how painful my heart is. After that, he ran away from the balcony. Now he has to find Sue at once. The door was pushed open by force. They met again. This time, Sue recognized this look. It's him. He's back. The next second, Sue hugged Guest tightly in his arms. He wanted to rub him into his body. Guest hugged Sue's face affectionately. I'm sorry. I won't make you cry again. Sue was blushing. That's not tears. It's the water dripping from the ceiling. All right, let's fix the ceiling together, okay? Guest told the whole story. In order to prevent the doctor from hurting him again, they made an agreement. They pretended not to know each other in front of people. Only in this prison can they express their love. But before they could save the world, a group of guards rushed in from the door. Without saying another word, they dragged Sue out. Although they resisted, they still couldn't defeat the guards. Sue seemed to remember something. He turned to Guest and shouted, "Don't follow me." Soon Sue was taken to the execution ground of the prisoner. The one sitting on it was his father, the high-ranking interpreter. Sue had already guessed that he would die tonight, but his blood didn't reach him. Haha, father, you haven't changed. Hearing the sound of bullets, Sue tried to calm his fear. He tried to recall those happy memories. Maybe it's good to have such an experience before death.
He looked up and looked at the sky for the last time. The next second, the gunshot hit the sky. However, everyone was surprised. I don't know when Bill appeared in front of Sue. The bullet got through his mechanical body. Due to the serious damage to the mechanical body, he was directly in the state of collapse. But Bill still said, "Didn't I say I wouldn't make you cry again? I broke my promise." Bill closed his eyes after saying that. Then came the laughter of Sue's ears. "Osira Loca, I swear I'll kill you." But this ferocious scene not only didn't irritate the interpreter, but also made him panic for a moment. Because at this moment, Sue and his mother are exactly the same. But he never intended to let go of this sword. He turned to his men and said, "What are you waiting for? Isn't he still breathing?" At the critical moment when the guards were ready to shoot the second bullet, another figure appeared. "Stop! What are you doing? Use torture on a child?"
Even if you're afraid to die, Dr. Bill is still standing in front of the two of you. You hurt our company's property. I have the right to ask you to stop. Unless you want to shoot me too. Because of the group behind Dr. Bill, the interpreter hesitated for a while. Dr. Bill sat down to comfort Sue, who was in the state of panic. "Don't worry, I promise I'll save him." In fact, Dr. Bill also wanted to know why he rushed up to block the bullet for him. So he boldly and testily told the interpreter, "This criminal has played a key role in the development and research of our AI. I hope you can spare his life, at least before our cooperation is over." Dr. Bill stared at himself fiercely. Dr. Bill nodded and continued, "You don't answer, I'll take it as a yes." Then Sue followed him. He quickly left this place of trouble. Until the figure of the two gradually disappeared, Dr. Bill didn't say a word from the beginning to the end. It seems that his thoughts have returned to a long time ago. That was a day 19 years ago. A collective protest organized by humans. The purpose is to jointly resist robots to replace humans. At that time, Oshiroka was still a security officer. At that time, he was arresting the leader of the protesters. As a result, he was tracked to a place where 10 people were lost. It just so happens that he met Princess Lilith in the manor. At a glance, he was shocked by the beauty of the other party. Lilith said that she had never seen any so-called protesters. Instead, Oshiroka, the intruder, has a special meaning. After meeting Oshiroka and looking around, I can only take it with confidence. But I don't know. The leader of the Sue family is Lilith's servant. It's hidden under the table right now. Although in name the two of them are master and servant, but in fact, they have been in love with each other for a long time. Oshiroka, who went back, has always remembered Lilith. The relationship of the family forces the other party to unite with himself. Lilith, who learned the news, was shocked. In the process of arguing with his parents, he said that he had already fallen in love with her. But what his mother said next made him even more desperate. It turns out that his mother already knew what happened between him and that servant. It's okay to open one eye and close one eye before, but this marriage is also a good plan for the whole family. If Lilith dares to refuse, then Oshiroka the servant can be bought in and sold out. In order to keep Oshiroka by his side, Lilith agreed to this exchange with his mother. But it didn't work out. Oshiroka, who learned the truth, came to the security guard's manor alone. Because of his special identity, he was recognized by his subordinates at a glance. He was the leader of the protesters who led the people to start a riot. He was directly locked up in the detention center. In order to save Oshiroka, Lilith pretended to agree to marry Oshiroka as soon as possible. But there was a precondition. That is, Sue must attend their wedding. And Lilith had already planned everything. She told Sue that she would leave with him that day. But their conversation had already been heard by the two subordinates standing aside. After that, Lilith was afraid that she shouldn't leave Sue alone that day. On the day of the wedding, Lilith looked left and right and never saw Sue's figure. She threatened Oshiroka. "If Sue doesn't show up, I'll leave right away." Oshiroka told her not to worry. He will definitely come. Then the door was opened. His subordinates walked in with a huge coffin. Lilith was still shocked for a second. Why would a good wedding bring in a coffin? Only in the next second did she realize that something was wrong. It turns out, the night she left the detention center, Oshiroka, who knew about their plan, ordered his subordinates to kill Sue in the detention center. When the coffin was kicked open, Lilith only felt the dust. Sue's body had already begun to rot. The smelly flies were hovering all over Sue's body. The past seemed to be standing still, but now it's gone. That day, Lilith's heart died with Sue. I promised you she would come, but I didn't say she would come alive. Now you're completely mine. In a state of despair, Lilith pulled out the dagger hidden on her leg and stabbed Oshiroka crazily. Everyone was shocked. They didn't expect the dagger to stab the robot waiter in front of them. Then Oshiroka laughed. All the robots in the party hall all entered the program to protect me. If you want to kill me, you have to pretend to be a cat. You can only marry me obediently. Then 2 subordinates rushed in to help. Lilith just said calmly, "What if it's a dead criminal?" She didn't even look back and stabbed him in the back. The great chief of the security guard will also marry a dead criminal. 1 stab, 2 stabs, 3 stabs. The little brother under her has been stabbed to death, but Lilith still didn't stop. It's like venting her endless anger. Then Lilith fell into Sue's arms. She said, "Now we're free." And then what happened? Tell me more. Lilith's blood stained the engagement dinner. And then what? How did she get pregnant? The little girl in the prison has been asking the old lady. The old lady turned over like she was remembering. She thought she could end everything by killing someone, but Oshiroka didn't let her go. Lilith should have been executed immediately, but Oshiroka didn't care about the outside world. He forced Lilith to marry him in prison. That night, the sound of the wedding night echoed throughout the prison. I can't forget it to this day. In fact, it's good that the child is dead. It's a torture here every day. Death is a relief. Who knew that the little girl would find out in the next second? Sue was sent back intact. Everyone in the prison didn't believe that they didn't believe it. They were all sighing that Sue was really lucky. Only Lilith was slightly hurt. Don't be too surprised. Even if she can hide tonight, it doesn't matter, because living is her hell. Sue was thrown into the cell by the prison guard. Then he was surprised to find his cell locked. He found that everything has changed now. Since Lilith appeared, he touched the crow on the wall. He smiled unconsciously. Because before he was brought back, Bill and he pulled his little finger. That's the promise they made. So Sue was dead. Bill had been saved. When the doctor brought Bill back to the lab, he activated Bill's reserve organ at once. After a series of complex rescue, the doctor was anxious to restart the machine again. In the next second, his whole body was full of electric current. With a violent struggle, Bill kept repeating some words in his mouth. Shooting, prison, escape. Finally, the crow pointed at the sky and fell into a coma again. It was the first time the doctor had seen such a situation. At that time, he was a little helpless. It was too late for them to react. The prison guard who rushed in forcibly took Sue out. But at this moment, Bill pulled Sue's little finger in a coma. It seemed to tell him that he was fine, to remember the promise between them. When the lab was calm again, when the doctor was still searching for the cause, Bill picked up the sharp plug from behind and put it on the doctor's neck. Don't move. Answer my question honestly. Did you report about what happened tonight? The doctor was shocked by this action. If I reported your story to the head office, the people in the company would have taken you back overnight. Can you still sit here and talk to me? It turns out that the doctor didn't lie, but he was still curious about why the doctor was helping him. The doctor told him excitedly, "Your existence means that humans will go to the unknown world. This is a great leap in human history. At the same time, it may also be the beginning of a disaster for humans. I admit that I'm scared. I'm afraid my decision will affect the future of humans, so I have to think about it." Who knows that Bill said it seriously? I don't care about the future of humans, I only care about Sue. Now Sue's situation is out of time. The doctor was anxious after hearing this. Do you know how precious your existence is? You put all the benefits of humans for a prisoner. The doctor hesitated. So what do you want? It's simple. I want to make a deal with you. As long as you cooperate with me to provide help, when Sue regains his freedom, I'm willing to leave with you. Experiment or research, you can analyze all of me and use me as a blueprint to create more breakthrough intelligent technology. Isn't this the pursuit of your life? But no one can escape from this Pataka prison now. How can you and I leave quickly? I have a plan. I won't be shot in vain.